Hey, Book Dragons. It is your girl, Lindsay. Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Spine Bookcast, Chronicles of a Bookshop. I have got one of my favorite people, and I know I say that all the time, but this truly is one of my favorite people. Her name is Krista, and she is one of my favorite book nerd people.
Hello, Book Dragons.
So, I'm going to ask you the same question that I ask everybody else. Mm-hmm. How did you get into reading?
I'm going to change my answer from what we talked about before. I think when I first got into reading, I was really young, right?
Right.
And so I think middle elementary school,
Sure.
I was reading the Meg Cabot Airhead series.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then what every kid reads, Magic Tree House.
Yeah. See, now I never read those because those came out after because this is the age difference. I think I was in college when those came out.
Really?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'll look it up.
But I'm significant. What did we determine that I'm 20 years older than you?
Almost exactly. Because you are, can I say
47.
You're 47. I'm 26, and I turned 27 in July.
Yeah, so almost to the day. Almost. God. Well, I still think it's hilarious that every single time that you and I go out with Jess, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, so my best friend Jess, who I know y'all have heard me mention on this podcast before, and I'm trying to get her on this podcast. She and I at one point had blue and purple hair.
And I had green hair.
Yes. And we went out to, I think, McKay's or something. And somebody asked Krista if Jess and I were your gay moms.
It was a Walmart.
It was a Walmart?
Because I don't feel like anybody in a McKay's would ask us if you were my gay moms. Because it was, are they your gay moms? It wasn't just oh, are those your moms? It was gay moms. And I looked at you guys, cracked up, and said yes.
Which, of course, Jessica and I both looked at each other and kind of went, yeah, okay, that tracks.
Valid. Valid. Because, we all had colorful hair.
Yeah.
I am
20 years younger.
20 years younger.
And it's not out of the realm of possibility that either one of us could have had a baby at 20.
Exactly.
And it's not an insult. You're a good kid.
Thanks.
I'll take it.
BT Dubs. The first Magic Treehouse book was published in 1992. So 5 years before.
So I was still in high school.
5 years before I was born.
God. Okay. That doesn't make me that old. So I was still in high school. Okay. So that makes me feel better. See, you had that, right? We had things like Judy Blume.
I never read Judy Blume, to be so honest.
Judy Blume, Beverly Clearly. So, okay, perspective. And I've said this before, that the young adult kids' books, when I can hear it before it comes out of my mouth. When I was your age.
Back in my day.
We like to bump the hill both ways in the snow. No, so when we were young, we did not have a lot of options for young adult. We had Beverly Cleary. I mess up her name every time. Don't come for me. I'm really sorry. And then we had, Judy Blume and a couple authors like that. But we did not have the diversity that we have now. Mm-hmm. And I think that's because my Generation X.
Don't ask me.
I think is what generation we are. Generation X.
You're not millennial.
No, I'm definitely not. And I'm not a boomer. Hell no.
Okay, boomer.
Shut up. So I feel like our generation of readers growing up are now writing the young adult fiction that we wish we had had.
And especially in the age of technology, there's so many more stories that we can hear.
Yeah.
And like the wide variety of cultures,
Yes.
race, religion.
LGBTQ, that market has exploded in books.
Absolutely. Like the amount of media, not just physical media, but like the amount of like movies, music, TV
Audible
shows.
books.
Audible books, like
fan fiction,
like
AO3, which you guys turned me on to.
Archive of Our Own is the best. Sorry, fanfiction.net, your search feature is crap. But like right now, we were talking earlier about how many books you're reading, and
6 currently, I think, is my count at one time,
and like our goals on Goodreads.
Yeah, so my goal was 65. And I'm at 35 right now. I'm 10 books ahead. But to be fair, that also includes Audible books, like audiobooks.
Audiobooks are reading.
Yeah, and it does include my Kindle, which I zip through really fast.
Ebooks are reading.
So, yeah, I mean, there's multiple books going on at the same time.
No, for sure. And, my goal is 60. I've read 13. It's almost the end of May.
I love you. You're so pretty. I'm not laughing at you.
It's fine if you do, because I'm in a book slump, but I'm in a fan fiction reading mood. Like 911 on ABC. They finally gave us canonical bisexual Evan Buckley in 4 episodes. Fox took 6 whole seasons and could not give us bisexual Buck when it was there the entire time. And so we finally got canonically bisexual Evan Buckley, and it resurged my love for that show. And so now I've been reading buddy fanfiction, which is Evan Buckley, Evan Buckley, and then Eddie Diaz.
Okay. What is the word you said?
Canonically?
What does that mean?
So, canon is when something is true within the story that's being told.
Sure.
So a lot of people have been headcanoning that Buck was bisexual.
Sure.
So a headcanon is, it's not something that's real in the context of the actual story.
Like headcanon accepted.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So they gave us canon by Buck, and I was like, oh my God, thank you, Tim Manier.
Sure.
And so I got onto a fanfiction reading kick. So all of any book that I was interested in is just gone. The amount of screenshots I have in my phone of fanfictions that I found on TikTok, God bless TikTok.
Right. I mean, TikTok got me out of my reading slump during COVID.
TikTok got me back into reading.
Yeah.
And I have you to thank for making me get TikTok when I didn't want it.
So I made Krista get TikTok, and then I deleted it because I thought it was dumb. And then Krista discovered Book Talk, which is the subversion inside TikTok, and made me re-download TikTok and introduced me to Book Talk. And now my book list is quintupled.
Oh yeah, dude, you remember when I had one bookshelf in my room?
Oh, I know.
Now I have 1, 2, 3 whole bookcases, a book cart, and then my desk has shelves on
have
it that are full.
Have you seen my upstairs office?
Yes, I have.
I have 15 bookshelves upstairs.
Yeah.
Almost filled to capacity.
Yeah.
And then there's the one inside my bedroom that's double stacked of all the books that I'm working my way through. And I think it's hilarious that when you and I go book shopping, you know more than what I have. You're like, no, I saw that on your bookshelf. You have that one.
I have to take another look just in case we go book shopping again.
Yeah.
It's been a while for me.
Yes.
I've just been buying special editions.
I want the Bridgerton Luminary special edition so bad. I can't stand it, and I will not accept any other version.
The Illumicrate version?
What did I say?
Luminary?
See? This is why I have Krista to correct me in all of my gross mispronunciations of things.
I've got you.
But yeah, so I mean,
I have it.
Yeah, of course you do. So TikTok. So okay. Well, I was during COVID, and I couldn't leave the house, which is for me and massive extrovert is just I was dying on the vine, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And
Withering.
oh God, I was, like bad. And I got in a really bad reading slump, but then somebody sent me the first copy, or the first book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series. And so I read that and then promptly ordered all the remaining in the series and continued to read all of them, and then ordered the Throne of Glass series. And then I'm now working my way through the Crescent City series, which is a different vibe.
It really is. I stopped reading after like the prologue of House of Sky and Breath, which is the second one.
Okay.
I read the entirety of ACOTAR. I read the entirety of Throne of Glass. And I think the reason I got into a major book slump at the very beginning of the year is because I spent the entirety of December reading the Throne of Glass series, and I literally finished Kingdom of Ash just after midnight on January 1st, bawling my eyes out.
Oh my God, right?
Scream crying. That I have picture evidence of this, and I've sent it to all of my friends.
Oh my God, the end of that book just destroyed my whole life.
And so then I read the first Crescent City book, and like people were like, it's so confusing, and I didn't think it was that confusing.
I don't think it's that confusing.
But it's such a different vibe than the rest of them. I think it's because it's more quote unquote urban fantasy.
I still think of it as fantasy though, because it's got all the different breeds of mythical creatures, and you know, this one throws angels in there, and
but there's cell phones and
it's
streaming services.
It confuses the shit out of me a little bit.
But yeah, I stopped reading after like the prologue, and I just haven't picked it back up.
I have all 3 books, and then I want to read. I've got the first 2 in the, what's the Dragon series?
I'm not reading that.
The Fourth Wing?
Yeah, I'm not reading that.
Why are you not reading it?
I don't really like Rebecca Yarros. So sorry, but I don't.
Don't come for us. We're all entitled to our opinions.
I don't really like Rebecca Yarros.
Do you mind me asking why?
Because she butchered a whole language to, like, fit it into her book.
I didn't know that.
I believe it's Gaelic? No.
Gaelic?
Different.
Okay.
I don't think it's... I'd have to look it up again. But
okay.
I watched, like, video after video of her, like, in interviews, like, this is how I pronounce it, but it's the most incorrect thing you've ever heard in your entire life. And, like, people who actually speak the language were like, yo, man, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
And I don't really like Sarah J. Maas for the same reason, because she kind of has messed that up. Also, I don't know if she's a Zionist or not.
See, that's one of those things that I just want willful ignorance so that I can enjoy my books.
But see, you can't do that.
I know.
You can't do that.
I know. And I mean, to a certain point, I don't. Like, I refuse to read the sequel to Kill a Mockingbird. Because I don't even know what the heck, all along the clock tower.
Do not ask me.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's called. That's how much I don't want to know. Because Harper Lee didn't want it published. Because it turns Atticus Finch into a just racist piece of shit as an old man. And I don't want to read that because I grew up. To Kill a Mockingbird is to this day one of my favorite books because Atticus Finch, that character stood up in the face of the entire town for what was right. I don't want to know that he becomes a racist piece of shit.
Well, that happens.
I know. And so, like, it kills me because I'll read something that I really enjoy, and then you come in, well, you know that they're blah, 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 blah. I'm like, damn it!
It's my duty to keep you informed.
Yes,
it's also
and it is.
But it's also kind of the reason why I've stopped reading, like, the Sarah J. Maas books. Because, like, I don't know what's going on there. And so many people I trust are like, hey, don't do that. And I'm just like, okay.
Like the thing with J.K. Rowling and like...
Fuck J.K. Rowling. So sorry.
What is wrong with you? Your entire fan base is literally telling you to shut up and sit down and that we have this. Stop talking about trans people that way.
She's actively funding anti-trans legislation in Scotland.
Oh my God. Why?
Yeah.
I don't understand authors who write that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, it's not really that great in the book either.
I know, but they write that kind of stuff and then they turn around and say, and I'm like, do you know who your fan base is?
She's already got the money.
Oh, God, it drives me crazy.
Uh-huh. There's an active list going on somewhere of authors that are actively supporting Israel in this genocide. And I'd have to find it to like repost it. I saw it once and I was like already like getting off the app. I scrolled and then I saw it and then I left.
Yeah.
And, like right now I'm kind of just like really disappointed in so many authors that I like looked up to.
Sure.
That's kind of also why I'm sticking around in like the indie space, because so many authors are way more open-minded, way more politically active.
Sure.
And will actually voice their opinions and do or like post GoFundMe's for families who are trying to get out of Rafah. Like,
yeah.
Like so many of the indie authors that I met at Lust in the Low Country last year, they are doing really good work. And so many of my friends are posting videos, and I'm doing everything I can to boost them, like reposting, commenting, liking, following the people that need to be followed. Like, it's just all of this world is shit.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's shit. I think a lot of the people in it are shit. And I think that because we have so much social media now, that...
It's all more accessible.
Oh, for sure. And I think people's bad behavior is more accessible as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's my dog and his bill to go out. Go on. Come on. Welcome to recording at the house. I will say, too, though, I think the good side of social media with regards to book reading and that kind of stuff is that you have so many authors that I never would have thought to read had it not been for social media. So, like, with TikTok, going back to book talk. So, like, you sent me the Trisha Levenseller, Daughter of the Pirate King.
Did I?
Somebody did. And if you did on TikTok and I forgot, I'm really sorry. I love you, but thank you. So, I've gotten so many books, like Jennifer Armentrout.
Jennifer L. Armentrout?
Armentrout, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm reading her Red Queen series now.
Red Queen is written by Victoria Aveyard. But
yeah, Victoria Aveyard is who I'm also reading. See, this is why I keep Krista around, because I'm reading like 10 billion books at a time, and I have trouble keeping everybody straight. But you go back to independent authors, so that's like, you know, my bookshop, the Spine Bookshop, one of our biggest things is independent and local authors, and I swear to God, some of the best books that I have read this year have been independent and local authors. Mm-hmm. And like, so Dan was on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and his whole series, Leaving Earth, holy shitballs. It is so good.
I need to read it.
And I'm not even like a huge sci-fi person, right?
I know.
But his, like, so the first book, the first part of it, and he'll even tell you this, it's a little slow because he's world building and setting up who everybody is. But once the shit hits the fan, everything just, you know, and then it ends and you're sitting here going, what am I supposed to do with my life now? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I messaged him, I was like, where's the second one? And he's like, I'm almost finished. And so he put out the second one, and I think I read it in 2 days. It was like, and I literally texted him, what the fuck is wrong with you? Have you just lost your mind? And he goes, if you hate me on the second one, you're really going to hate me on the third one. And he let us beta read the third one, just one or two of us. And I read it in one night and texted him at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, with both, like, I am sitting here sobbing at 6 a.m. What? Why? But it's one of those that is so good, and the visuals are so good, and the dialogue is so good. I swear it would make an amazing TV series, or like a 3-season TV series, or a 3-movie. Oh my God, it's so good. And by the time you get to the third book, you're so heavily invested in what the hell is happening. Mm-hmm. You know, and the same thing with like Lloyd. He wrote a series of short stories and he laughs when I say this, but I swear if Alfred Hitchcock, Ray Bradbury, and the Twilight Zone...
Get your dirty feet.
Oh my God. My dog and the dirty feet on my couch. Welcome to recording at the house. Oh my God, my dog. I swear. So I swear. So I feel like that those 3 characters, Twilight Zone, Ray Bradbury, and even throw in a little bit of Stephen King. And Lloyd has built this amazing world of just crazy awesome stories.
We're fighting a dog.
Yes, my dog is he's got the zoomies. Mm-hmm. So I really think that having independent and local authors, having them be more prominent now and being able to give them more of a stage, mm-hmm. I think has really, really helped.
Oh, absolutely.
The reading genre.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And there's so much more to read now. Every time they do a remake in a movie, I just want to like,
oh my God,
point to my shelf.
Literally, I was looking today at like the horror movies that are supposed to come out, and they're all literally just like remakes and sequels of freaking Chucky. Who cares about Chucky? I'm so sorry. It was good the first 2 movies, and I'm over it. Like,
okay, but the caveat here, okay, mm-hmm. is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And the fact that all those licenses are getting ready to come up on those characters. They're getting ready to do the Cheshire Cat, the Mad Hatter.
Stop.
They're getting ready to do oh, it's fine. Just let them at this point. I want to say Tigger and Eeyore. And they're calling, ready for what they're calling it? The Pooniverse.
Stop it right now.
And when I tell you that I cannot wait for all of these movies to come out that are going to be, because you know how I am. I love me a horrible movie.
Mm-hmm. See, I was never going to watch them. So I just watched people I love watching their reactions to stuff on YouTube. Like Zavid. It's like Zzavid. Mm-hmm. His name is David. Mm-hmm. But then there's Nick Says Boo. Right. Alonda. Like so many people on YouTube. I just watch them watch it because their reactions, they're always so funny. And so like I'll have a good time watching them crack jokes about the movie, and I won't actually have to watch it at all.
I love a horrible movie. Like Lloyd and I talked.
Oh, no. Look, one of my favorite movies, unironically, is Sharknado.
See, I have yet to see those.
Excuse me?
I know.
I have a Sharknado Funko Pop. What do you mean? It's the only Funko Pop I own.
I'm aware. I'm aware. Do not come for me. It's on my list to watch.
Horrendous.
Shut up.
No. Will we ever have a cohesive conversation?
Probably not ever. I don't think that we ever have, which is why this is so funny to me to have you on here, is because it's just like...
We also never shut up.
Not ever. Nope. Jessica and I will be much worse.
Oh, for sure. Oh, my God.
Okay, so I know that.
Nary a book will get talked about.
No, but the problem is I know that Jessica and I are a total pain in the ass to be around. But also, we've been friends since we were 10 years old.
Yeah.
We have an entire language.
Yeah, for sure.
That has 30 years in the making.
I know. You'll say something and she'll crack up and I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now.
It's, yeah, I mean, yes. So if you hear jingling in the background, it's our dogs. They're playing because they're nuts. So just ignore all that. But yeah, so, I mean, and I think it's really funny to me. And I think she and I are a great example. She and I have read so much between the two of us and seen so many things between the two of us that we can still make running joke references on movies that were 30 years old. And I think there are book references that way too. Like, oh, I found this ring. Do you see a mountain? You need to throw it down. And everybody knows that that's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that's so funny that there are some books that have just
like transcended.
Yeah.
Like,
what was the first book for you that just like made its mark on your soul that you knew that, and if it's porn, it's okay because I'm looking at your face.
No, are we talking about like... Are we talking about good books or bad books?
Whichever. One of the books that for your significant memory, when you read it, it changed your whole life.
Dreamland by Sarah Dessen.
It's a good book.
It is. It really is. And it spoke to me at the point in my life when I was reading it because I was in high school.
Sure.
With like a horrible person. And so when I read that, it literally like... That book changed my brain chemistry.
Yeah.
And like every other book, like she's written after that because I don't really like the first three.
Sure.
Sorry. But like every book after that, it's literally like she writes such hard topics, but in such a gentle way.
Yeah.
That it literally, it's how I learned about so many things is through her books. So probably that. Either that or the House of Night series, which has not aged well.
No. I just finished that recently. It really hasn't.
Oh, no, ma'am. I restarted it when I worked at my old job.
Sure.
And one of my coworkers mentioned it. And I was like, oh my God, I used to love that series. And so I reread it. Horrible. Terrible. Probably one of the worst pieces of literature I've ever read in my life.
But I still have it all on my shelf.
But you eat it up.
Yeah.
It's like crack.
Well, so yeah, okay. We had B.C. Andrews with Flowers in the Attic.
I have never read a single V.C. Andrews.
Holy crap. It is the most incestuous dumpster fire of trashy porn that you could possibly ever read in the 80s. Yeah. There's like a whole generation of V.C. Andrews kids.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't doubt that at all.
Well, and so, okay, so, you know, like To Kill a Mockingbird was a big thing for me, but I don't think anything changed my brain chemistry until I read Turtles All the Way Down.
Oh,
by John Green, because I had literally just been diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and I was having so much trouble articulating, like, my anxiety thoughts and how they would just get worse and worse and worse and just, you know, become almost incapacitating to where it would then lead me into a panic attack, right? And so my friend Kelly sent me Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. And I remember it was like, what a weird ass title, but okay, sure. You know, I've liked every other John Green title that I've ever read, you know, no problem. So I read that and hang on. Will you stop that? Get over there. There you go.
You each have a bone.
I know. They want the other one's bone. Yeah. But no, so I read the book and in the first chapter, he talks about the main character. She talks about her thought spiral and how she starts thinking about one thing, which spirals to the next thing, which spirals to the next thing, which gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And it reminds me of those commercials. You know, when you're sitting at home waiting for the cable guy, you see things that you shouldn't see. And when you see things you shouldn't see, you know, it just ends up being that like some ridiculous scenario where you have to go on hiding from the mob. So it's like totally stupid.
Yeah.
But your brain is telling you that it's an accurate thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having such trouble articulating it, but to have some author put into words what my brain was doing in a way that I could thrust the book at someone and go, here, read this paragraph right here. This is what my brain does. This is what's happening in my brain. This paragraph right here. And have somebody finally go, oh God.
Yeah.
Like changed my brain chemistry. And I've literally reread that book like 4 times.
I haven't read it.
It is a masterpiece of mental illness and a realistic way of how it fucks up your whole life.
I went to the event that they did, John and Hank Green, in Nashville when that book came out.
I wanted to go so bad.
And Sirius ate my signed copy.
Oh.
I haven't gotten a new one yet, and I haven't read it. But I want to read it. It's just on the list.
It's going to make you cry.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that. I think every single John Green book I've ever read is
it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And there is no, like, super happy ending.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
it's a
none of John Green's books have a happy ending, really.
But it's a realistic ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an ending in that you can be like, yeah, that's probably what would happen. You know? And to me, that was comforting.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't necessarily great.
Mm-hmm.
But it was what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? And that book, I swear to God, I've never read any book that made me just sit there and like just destroyed my life for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite book that you've ever read so far? I know. The look that
on my face. The look on my face right now. You do not really ever ask a book reader what their favorite book is.
No, which is exactly why I ask it, because I'm always curious what everybody's answer is.
Because I don't know.
Because some people have one. Other people have this is my favorite book of the moment.
I'm more of a favorite book of the moment, but I mean, there's books that like stand out to me.
Like what?
Like Dreamland by Sarah Dessen.
Sure.
Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch.
I haven't read that, but I know which one you're talking about.
She wrote Love and Gelato.
Yeah, okay.
Love and Luck is the second one. I literally sobbed at that book. Yeah, it hit so close to home that like I was texting my friends like, oh my God, I'm crying, because I made them read Love and Gelato because I loved it.
Yeah.
And so like this was before we were having like our book club meeting, and I was like reading Love and Luck, and like I'm literally sobbing right now. And I was just crying because it hit so close to home. The Martian.
That book destroyed me.
The Martian.
It is one of my favorite books.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
The Martian by Andy Weir.
Oh my God. Have you read his other books?
No, I haven't. But I do.
God.
I have Artemis and I have Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary is... There are not words. And they're getting ready to do the movie with Ryan Gosling. And there's literally no one else I can think of to do that movie. And didn't
one of the Wahlberg brothers do The Martian?
No, that was Matt Damon.
They look the same. Sorry.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But
yeah, the fact that The Martian starts out with the first line of the book, is, I am so fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Any book that starts out with that, you have to know, well, what the hell did you do?
It's literally my favorite first line of any book I've ever read.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so funny.
Yes.
Because, like, why are you fucked? Like,
Yeah.
what's happening?
We go, what have you done?
Already in 1 second.
1 second of me opening the book. Yeah. That, like, brilliant. At this point, anything that Andy Weir writes, I'm just going to read because I have enjoyed. I didn't enjoy Artemis as much.
Okay.
Because it's a different kind of story. All three of his take place in space, you know, but they're all different versions of space. But man, Project Hail Mary, that one made me cry too.
I've heard a lot of really good things about
it. Is
Project Hail Mary.
Outstanding. But yeah, and I mean, and even for someone, so okay, my problem with sci-fi, and I will say that Dan Adam, who did Leaving Home, and Andy Weir have both succeeded in doing the one thing that I've always struggled with. So, and I've said this before, like you take Michael Crichton when he wrote Congo, right? Congo had so much technology and science, and he spent so much time trying to get into the science of it that it got way above my head. And I didn't enjoy it because I had to work to read the book. I don't have to work to read your book.
Yeah, and see, the thing about Andy Weir, me reading The Martian, I was just having a good time.
Exactly.
The entire time, and I didn't feel stupid.
Dan's book, Andy Weir's books, I just enjoy the books.
I really want to read Becky Chambers' The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, I think is the first book.
Okay.
I don't know. I have the special editions of them because they were way too pretty not to get. Well, and sure. I wanted to read them anyways because I had the first one and I was like, well, if these special editions are just here, I might as well just get them.
Yeah.
But I really want to read those because I've heard really, really good things about them.
Yeah. I wish y'all could see us. We're both sitting here scrolling through our Goodreads list.
If we're talking about books that have also changed our brain chemistry.
Sure.
Pucking Around.
Really?
By Emily Rath.
I've heard a lot about that. Why?
Not to like reveal too much about myself, but it like opened up things for me.
Sure.
Because, you know, it is a Why Choose novel with one woman, 3 men.
Nice.
But Emily Rath as a person, love Emily Rath.
Yeah.
I've met her technically twice, I guess you could say, because I met her when she signed my books, and then I went to like a VIP thing on the beach with her during Lust in the Low Country in Charleston.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Emily Rath is like the sweetest person I've ever met. And she like, so the song Say Don't Go by Taylor Swift, it's like a pretty significant moment.
Sure.
In one of her like Pucking Ever After books.
Okay.
And so I was listening to it in the car, and then it just made me think of the characters. I'm not spoiling anything. And so I messaged her on Instagram, and I was like, Emily, you have me crying in my car because of this song and these 2 characters. What do you mean? And she sent me a drawing that hadn't been released yet. She sent me a picture of the scene that she was having illustrated, and I literally lost it. I was like, oh my God! And she was like, it's getting colored right now. It should go out in the next couple of days. And I was like, thank you, Emily, for blessing me with this.
I get it. Sarah Addison Allen has been the same way for me. So, so Sarah Addison Allen had breast cancer. And so I did a fundraiser for her, or not for her, but I did a fundraiser for her, Making Strides. She actually donated.
Really?
Yeah, I've totally freaked out, right? So then when my husband and I were getting married, I messaged her and I told her that I love all of her books. And I wondered if she had a quote for me that I could put on my like the sign thing that you do, right? And so she emailed me back a quote from one of her books. And it's hanging in my bedroom. And so when I sent it to her, she put it on social media. I was like, she took the picture that I had and put it on social media. And so I really love that authors will do that.
Yeah.
That they love their fans. I just think that's so cool. And that's one of the reasons I started my bookshop is because I grew up wanting to be friends with authors. And now I am.
Yeah.
Which I just love that so much. I love I call them my authors. They're not my authors, but they're my authors.
No, I get it.
Because, I love them all tremendously.
So many of the people that I met at Lust in the Low Country, sorry to keep talking about it, but
you're fine.
I read Daphne Elliott. I read her Lumberjack series. I haven't read the newest one, but I need to. And then Swati M.H.
Yeah.
I've read all of her books, actually, except for the very, very, very newest one.
Yeah.
And I messaged both of them throughout my entire reading of the books, and they responded. And
oh my God, I love that so much.
Oh yeah, no, me and Swati, I'd send her voice notes, girl, what the fuck are you doing? And she would voice note back and say, this cracked me up so much.
Carrie Jones and I are like that. We message back and forth sometimes because she wrote the Captivate series, which I was completely obsessed with.
Yeah, I remember you talking about
and then she wrote me back. She and I send each other Christmas cards and stuff now.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. Oh my God. I adore her so much.
Speaking of Christmas cards, you'll actually get one this year.
Oh, will I? It's a miracle. Because I send one out every year.
I know, and I have yours. You have one of mine.
Do you know what book I was surprised that I read that I really liked is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I cannot begin to express how much I loved that book. And that was one of the books that the
the LGBTQ+.
Thank you. I trip over that every time. LGBTQ book club that we do, they wanted to read that. And I never read it. And so I just rented it off the library. And then, I swear to God, don't buy dogs. Just don't do it. You'll never have a moment's peace. But I rented it off the library. And then as soon as I finished it, ordered myself a copy. Because I was like, I have to have one of these. Same thing with, and I know you don't like Delia Owens.
Who?
Delilah, whatever her name is, who wrote Where the Crawdads Sing.
Oh, yeah. Because she assisted in a murder?
Yeah.
For sure.
But the story that she wrote is so beautiful. I know.
Well, T.J. Klune's not that great either.
Yes, I know.
So sorry.
No, it's fine. Anyway, and I think that's one of the things that I hate about social media too, is that you read a book and you love it, and then you find out that the author is a complete and utter butt munch.
Well, and see, but with ignorance breeds crazy talk. I don't have really good words for that, but with ignorance, you could spout out something that is harmful.
Yeah.
And so, I try my best to be as up to date on everything as I possibly can. I could also be wrong about some things.
See, there's so much
that have updated since the last time I heard them.
There's so much. I've gotten to, and it started with the whole Cheeto Mussolini becoming president. I've had to stop educating myself in the news because if I don't, I called him that.
I mean,
Dorito Hitler.
It's not really off base, so.
But I have gotten to the point where I will watch the news until my eye starts twitching, and then I have to quit watching the news because it makes me so angry.
Oh, I can't.
See,
My parents will never find this. Listening to my dad watch the news, quote unquote, the rage that fills me with the extremely obvious propaganda that's being shoved into their faces, it
makes my face hurt.
It kills me because, like, we can't have, like, a genuine conversation
with someone who's mentally crazy. And I hate that our two options for president this time are raging, homophobic, racist, raping piece of shit, and a senile old man.
Who's also really not that great.
About
queer people.
I mean,
or women.
In the last two presidential campaigns, women have lost their rights to reproductive care.
Mm-hmm.
Homosexuals have lost just the whole LGBT community. Yeah, homosexuals. The whole, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm stammering over my words trying to express what I'm trying to say, so please forgive me.
Don't cancel her. I'm teaching her.
Yes, she is. But the whole community, the LGBTQ community, is being
persecuted?
Yeah.
Consistently.
Well, and so because of that, so you and Zoe, who I will be interviewing as well, she's one of our LGBTQ authors.
Oh, I met her.
Yeah, she's adorable. I love her, so I can't. So both of you guys have really been an example of, how do I want to say this? Somebody who has made mistakes in the past, has realized those mistakes, and has tried to set about re-educating themselves. Without saying, teach me, I've gone more about it like, I read this, explain this to me so that I understand better. And so one of the things that I'm doing for June, because June is Pride Month, I am highlighting every single day.
Should highlight me.
A person in the LGBTQ plus community.
Me.
That you might not know about in history.
Yeah.
And
sure.
Like there were some of the people that I remember. Yes, I sent you and Zoe both the list. And I even said, tell me if there's someone on here that may be problematic.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys gave me feedback. And we're not going to discuss who it is because I don't want to come for people. But you guys mentioned someone who I then took off the list. And Zoe gave me somebody else to replace it by, which I did. And
I gave you so many people to
Oh, no, you did. You totally did. And so for me, it was really educational. It's the same thing that I did with Black History Month, with finding people. Like last year I did the authors. This year I did people in STEM.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of information that I was unaware of, that my generation was not given in high school.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Just... I would just sit there sometimes and I'd be reading about someone and it was like, the fuck did I not know this for?
Oh, yeah. No, dude.
Like, I did not even find out about the Tulsa riots. Yeah, I did not find out about that until like 5 years ago.
Really?
Yes. Wow. Yes. I didn't know that was a thing.
Heavy.
Yeah. I mean, and I think reading is fundamental to our educational system, and there's so much shit that we're not being taught.
But also reading, like, in general, like, fiction stories.
Yeah.
They help build your empathy.
And I'm so tired of the classics, because there's so much...
Catch me never reading a classic. Sorry, not sorry. Like, I'll never...
Oh, my God.
The only classic I've ever read was probably To Kill a Mockingbird, and that was for school, and I hated it.
Really?
Sorry, but...
Why did you hate it?
I was 14.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. See,
and
for
I'm
me...
not going to reread it. So.
That's one of those books that I've reread it about 5 or 6 different times, and every time that I've read it, I have gotten something new. Mm-hmm. Because I've read it at different ages, so it's hit me differently.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see why you would not like it, because it has its problems. But I also think it was very accurate at the time for the Deep South and how things happened here. But yeah, I just, oh my God, I know. Yeah. But I just,
That's going to be attractive sound for that.
Oh, man. Did you not hear the dogs making noise through the entire podcast? We've tried this. This is the third recording, and I've just given up. They're just going to be there.
That's what yeah.
Yeah. But reading has been so fundamental, especially for the last, I'll say 15 years for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up in a small town.
Yeah.
And we're just going to leave it at that. And so
Yeehaw.
I had a whole mentality that I went to college with and very quickly got re-educated about my mentality real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked really hard to approach things from explain this to me so I can understand better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just came in.
You're not going out. So
No.
sorry, bestie.
We have a puppy named Chopper after Star Wars, and he is living up to his namesake, folks. Let me tell you. So bad. Krista, I just want to say thank you so much for letting me subject you to my household and my podcast.
Always. For the last, how many years?
I mean, right? Yeah.
How many has it been? 8?
Something like that.
Because we met before COVID, right?
Yes, we met before COVID. We met at Panera Bread before COVID.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
We met at Maggie Stiefvater. That's how we met.
That's right. Yes, we did. I forgot that because she has Maggie Stiefvater's crow or her raven artwork on her arm. And I have the wolf on my left back shoulder because that's how we met. And so I went and I found the artwork that Maggie did. I found the artwork that Maggie did and took it to my tattoo artist so that we would have Maggie's artwork representing the books that we first found Maggie with. So
The Raven Boys.
The Raven Boys and the Timberwolf series.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's how we met because you met Kim.
Yes.
Because I went with Kim.
That's right.
And she played the bagpipes.
I love her so much.
I have like a 5-second clip of her playing the bagpipes.
Yeah, no, me too. So, well, thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, yeah. Is that where we're ending it?
Yes, that is where we're ending
that
it.
heavy.
The heavy thing, yeah. So, thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Spine Bookcast, Chronicles of a Bookshop. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the dumpster fire that is our conversation.
Never a single cohesive conversation ever happens.
Ever. And happy reading, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.